Hi, my name is Lucas, and I thought I would contribute to the It Gets Better campaign. First of all, I just want to say to all the other people on YouTube that I'm really glad that there's been a lot of positive support from the gay community for the teens who took their lives due to being discriminated against for their sexuality. It's very uplifting when a tragic event like this creates a positive flow of support from people who know exactly what it's like to be discriminated against. Having said that, and as wonderful as all the people on YouTube have been, it does kind of make me a little depressed that the people who are doing these videos are typically very normal looking, and I do use the word normal in quotes, but I will say that yes, I'm sure a lot of them have dealt with, the shallow assholes, but the gay community can be just as cruel as the gay haters. To tell you a little bit about myself, I was born with tracheal malacia, which is a weakness in the walls of your windpipe. I was also born with several heart and lung difficulties. I've had 3 heart surgeries. One of them was open heart at the age of 2. On top of that, I've had tubes put in my ear. I had a trach until I was 9 years old, and my airway is actually the size of a 4-year-old. In total, I've had over 20 surgeries in my life. In high school, I was picked on a lot, and looking back, I think it was mainly due to the fact that I didn't know how to really accept myself for who I was then. And since I'm typically somebody to make light of any sort of situation, I always made myself the butt of a lot of jokes, and in turn I never really earned anybody's respect. On top of that, I was so scared to tell people that I was gay that I made fun of a lot of other people for being gay. And a note to the closeted gay guys out there: never ever do that. You will absolutely regret it. Luckily I have made up with the people I have ridiculed, but when I did finally come out, I was a freshman in college, and the first guy I spoke to, I got to talk to him a little bit during the day, and then he and I would email each other at night. And my brother actually guessed my password just to see what I was doing, and he told me, he said he wanted to make sure I wasn't ordering anything illegal. And he got in there, and he had seen one of the emails my friend had sent me, called me at 6 in the morning, and he pretty much couldn't believe what he was seeing. And it took me a long time before I could actually sit down and talk with him. But when I finally did, he basically just said, I don't believe this, and you better never bring a fucking gay guy around. A few months later, after my family knew, on Christmas Eve no less, my older sister told me that now that everybody knows, they all see me as if I told everybody I was a serial killer. And then when my mom found out, she told me, and this is a direct quote, if she had known I was going to turn out to be gay, then she wouldn't have prayed for me all those times when I was in the hospital. On top of this, I've had a few aunts, uncles, and cousins who spent their time gossiping about me instead of asking me if I needed any sort of support. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the gay community and my experience in the gay community the past 6 years since I've been out. First of all, I would like to say I've had a few select really good gay friends who have really been there for me and have given me all sorts of support. But on the whole, I would like to say, I already have issues with being able to go up to somebody that I find attractive and try to, speak to them, start a conversation. I knew what other people saw when I came up to them. I have a mirror, it works. But I remember my first 2 years of college, if there was someone that I found slightly interesting and I tried to talk to them, they would, most of the time, run to their friends, tell them that they didn't want somebody who looked like me talking to them. And they'd rather talk to the more attractive people, one guy said. I once drove over 2 hours to go and hang out with one of my friends at my first gay club, and as he was introducing me to all of his friends, a few of them just looked at me as if I had my hair on fire. And I guess later on he had had a private moment with with the friend I was there to see, and asked why he brought a car crash victim to the gay bar. I cannot tell you the countless times I've went on dates and the guys will say, you know, I need to go use the restroom, and they'll walk out. Or if they come over to watch a movie and have a pizza, they'll get a text saying, you know, I need to go. And then later on, you know, like, they'll email me back and they'll say, you know, I'm really sorry, but I just wasn't attracted to you, and I'm sorry for my shallowness. Let's see. I did date one guy, and he didn't even want to be involved with me at first because of how I looked. He made that blatantly clear to me. But instead of getting upset about it, I spent 4 months trying to get him to see the good parts of me and accept me for who I was. And after I got him to see who I really was, you know, he actually did want to date me, but because of that, I never spent any time, you know, looking, you know, at myself, wondering if I actually wanted to date him. And eventually, I ended up dumping him. He just wasn't for me. But you know, that's neither here nor there. After I did end things with him, though, I decided to go to a school and to a place where next to nobody knew who I was, and I could start over, you know, and have a fresh start. And my attempts at my new school, you know, to try and mingle with the gay crowd, have fallen flat, and they have been awkward at best. I can't even hang around with them because they've made it apparent that I'm not welcome and that I'm not even wanted. One of them actually had the nerve just a couple of weeks ago to ask me if I was in a fire, and that's why I look like this. And, you know, and that's another thing on a side note. When I go to a club and I see somebody who's attractive, or I notice somebody, it's mainly because they're attractive. If somebody sees me, they're more than likely wondering if I get, you know, handicap parking, which I absolutely do not. What I'm really trying to convey here is, you know, what are people like me supposed to do? How am I supposed to find comfort in a group where I don't even feel wanted? I'm just like everyone else in that I just want some people that I can consider friends and, you know, accept me for who I am and relate to. You know, how many other people can really say that, you know, the straight community doesn't accept them for being gay, and the gay community doesn't accept them for missing an ear or an arm or a leg, you know? I know straight people can be just as shallow as times, but they aren't the ones fighting for equality. It's obviously not a choice to be gay, and it's definitely not a choice to be born with a disability of any kind. I may not be able to change my past or how I look, but each one of us has an opportunity to do the right thing every morning when we get up. And so I would like to say to the gay and lesbian community, young and old, closeted or out, that just to please do the right thing, because everyone deserves to be loved. And if you do that, then yes, it will get better. Thank you.